Hello everybody, Kelly Rice here, but I write under my pen name, KM Rice, and welcome to this vlog episode. First things first, I'm very excited to announce that after a successful crowdfund campaign in which many of you generously supported me, my audiobook, Darkling, narrated by Gail Shalan, is now out. And along with Darkling is my historical fiction novella, The Wild Frontier. Now you can find both of these on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. So they're available on whichever platform you choose. And if you're not sure if you want to buy it or not, you can listen to, I think it's over a minute, sample of each one. And Gail has done a beautiful job. I couldn't be happier. Also, Midsummer Song, composed and recorded and produced by Uriel and Ryan Lauder for my audiobook Darkling, using my lyrics from the first chapter, if you're familiar with Darkling, is now also out. Last time I checked, it had something like 20 million, or 20,000, not million, I wish, 20,000 views on YouTube, which is huge. So it's obviously a big hit. I can't even express how pleased I am with that. It's so magical to hear my words being interpreted by other artists and being brought to life in a textured way different than just the written word on the page. So that's been immensely rewarding for me, and to hear Gail reading my book, because it's sort of the same type of process. This, you know, when you're a writer, you're alone, you're solo when you're doing your work, but this has been collaborative, and these women have been an absolute joy to work with, and I highly recommend the finished products. So if you want to, go check out Midsummer Song. Uriel has it available on all of her different platforms. Look it up. Look at my social media. I'm blasting this stuff. I'm trying not to be annoying, but every once in a while I'll post about it. I shouldn't say blasting, because some people really do blast and post about it every day. I don't do that. I figure who's interested is gonna see it, you know? But if you do find yourself liking me and really liking audiobooks and wanting to help me out, one thing you can do is sign up for Audible as a new listener and purchase Darkling, or if you're extra nice, Darkling and the Wild Frontier, which is like $6.99. It's pretty cheap, you know, that's like a fancy cup of coffee, right? I don't know. I don't go to like places with baristas and stuff. I make coffee at home. But yeah, if you liked that type of fancy coffee, maybe instead one day you get a book, an audiobook, an excellently narrated audiobook by Gail Shalan, written by KM Rice. And the reason I am pushing that is because if you do sign up and you remain an Audible listener in good standing, which just means I think you don't get kicked off of Audible, I don't know, for 2 months or 61 days, then I get from Audible a $50 bounty for introducing you to the platform. And the way Audible works, I believe, is that every month you are billed $15, and what that $15 is an Audible credit for a book. So by being a member, each month you're getting a credit to purchase a book, if that makes sense. Yeah. So if you love me and want me to get a $50 bounty, then that's the way to go. But again, not everyone's going to want to be an Audible member for that long. But remember, when you do sign up, they do give you one free credit to claim a book. So that's exciting. So that is my news. And of course I have a little Darkling trailer that I made for the audiobook. That's up on my channel. Check all that out. And now I'm going to get to a question that was asked to me by Rachel Emily quite some time ago, and I apologize, I'm just now getting to it. And she asks, how do you keep your self-organized? Let me start that over again. How do you keep yourself organized when you write a novel? I'm back with my handy-dandy notebook. No, it doesn't have Blue's Clues in it. Sorry. However, what it does have, other than insanity and ideas for future Happy Hobbit episodes, and something that says top secret, do not read unless you are Kelly. List of Christmas presents that I bought for people in the past. Here we go. So when I am writing books that are shorter, like this is a good page to show you guys. When I'm writing a book like Darkling or its companion novel The Watcher, I as I've said before in my video on the writing process, I don't write anything down. I don't plot. I don't plan ahead. Darkling, however, was inspired by a dream, so I did have a rough map in my head, an emotional map of where the characters needed to go, and some physical inspiration for the house, for the characters, etc. That said, when you're dealing with something immensely more complicated, like my upcoming Afterworld series, you do need to keep track of things. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of what that looks like, because for me what I tend to do is I have my notebook and I will write down things that I need to remember for different chapters or for different books, because I wrote 4 books in this series. I'm sorry I'm talking very slow as I'm looking for maybe a better page, but I don't. Okay. I'm back again. Alright. The reason I was just being a little bit cagey while I was looking through this notebook is because it is obviously full of notes about books that you have not read yet, but not only that, the pages are randomly interspersed with projects that I have worked on where I am still under an active NDA. So I didn't want to flash something in front of the camera and have it be a note from something that I worked on that could get me sued, in short. So I'm going to show you a glimpse, because again, I don't want to spoil anything. Here's a glimpse of my brain. So there was, on that page, one day, hopefully, once the books are out, I'll be able to share more of that. There was big writing, little writing, notes from documentaries, pieces of prose. Here you go. Here's some colored stuff. It's not color coordinated. It's just whatever pen I picked up that day. I am not that organized. So, Rachel, when I was writing this intensely complicated, intricately linked book series, I did have to make notes to myself to make sure that I was not forgetting things, to make sure that if I had an idea for a story down the line, a book down the line, I jotted it down. I think I did that with the very first book I wrote too, but I think since that was all on the computer, I feel like what I did was I had a separate document open and I just jotted down notes in there. I probably also did that with Darkling. For whatever reason, with these books, it helped me more. I think because, like I said, they are much more complicated. They're an adult story. The nearest comparable title, even though it's not very fair to compare them at all, is Outlander. So that gives you an idea of, the fact that it's more than a simple story that, like, Darkling begins and you're in the character's head and she's telling you the story. So that's a very limited point of view. I'm gonna stop talking now about that, because this isn't about Afterworld, but I'm just telling you about the experience of writing books that long. So the reason that I keep notes, and that I think for these books that I wrote it down looking back at my writing process, was because I would often have an idea while I was running, or in the shower, or in New Zealand. I have little scraps of paper stuck in here from when I was in New Zealand as well, and I didn't have this notebook with me. So I would be doing activities other than the act of physically composing, and that's when I saw fit to write things down, or like I said, I was watching a documentary, doing research, whatever. I'm going to be taking notes, and it just is easier for me to have that tactile experience. So I do keep track of things by writing notes, Yet at the same time, as I've tried to explain before, I'm also aware that one of the reasons I write so quickly is because I'm trying to keep track of so much in my head at the same time, and I need to get it out fast so that I don't lose it. It's not as if it slips away as I'm writing it, but there's a sense of relief the more I get onto the page, because then that's the fewer facts or plot twists or whatever that I have to keep in my head. Again, I could plot all of this, I could outline it, then I don't have to worry about what's in my head, but I just don't seem to work well that way. However, I will say that I managed to write The Watcher in small increments rather than just delving in. I was able to write an hour here, 5 hours there, whatever I had time to do, which was much less insane. And I'm hoping that the finished product is still good. I don't know. I never know if any of my books are going to be as entertaining as I hope they are, but that is always my goal, which is to entertain. And I also want to let you know, Rachel, and everyone watching this, I don't have personal experience with this software, but there is a software called Scrivener, which I believe would have been a great help to me while writing this series, because there are tabs for notes about each chapter, and I think there's tabs to keep track of characters, this, that, all those kinds of things. So it would have been really helpful for me to not have to go through, what was it, like a over 200 page single-spaced Word document, and be like, is that what they said? Wait, what was the control find? And type in the dialogue or whatever it was I could remember, and then go back and be like, okay, that's the exact wording. And it would have been really nice to have software where I could tag things where I'm like, you might want to change this later, or because sometimes I put in placeholders. My placeholder is Bob in all caps. And if I'm done writing for the day, sometimes I'll write in all caps, Bob the Builder ate my cheese. Right? Genius! So, there are sometimes Bobs in there. I remember in my early writing days, there was a character named Bob who wasn't named Bob, but I just hadn't named that character yet, so they were bobbing everywhere. Bob, Barbara, Ann. Sorry, it just came out. So unfortunately, or fortunately, that's about as in-depth as I can get into how I keep track while writing books. Again, I try to have everything in one physical spot just to make it easier on myself. I listen to music as I write most of the time, usually music without lyrics because that can be distracting to me. Sometimes music with lyrics. So I'll make a playlist for each book that I'm working on too, because sometimes there's the tone and feel of the style that you're going to write in. Sometimes you're defining that in the first 10,000 words or so, and you're searching for it, and I find that music can be incredibly helpful, and every once in a while I'll hear a piece and I'm like, that tone, that's what I'm going to try to convey in words. So that's, I guess, another way that I stay organized when I'm writing, is to have specific playlists so that my music isn't just on random and all of a sudden a rock song is going to come when I'm trying to write about the woods are dark and my mother weaves dried blossoms into my hair. Did you hear that? Willow just turned into a British man, I think. So I hope that helps you answer your question, Rachel. And if anyone else has more helpful tips to share with her, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I wanted to point out what's next to me, completely blown out by the sun, are some birthday cards that I received from wonderful people in my life. Because I had a birthday last week. It was a week ago exactly. Wow. Time flies when you're old. And now I'm a year older. So I will sign out today with... Here's a very interesting one. This one's an elephant, a really beautiful kind of quilted elephant. And I will sign out. Oh, this one is from one of my very best friends, Leanne. There's a funny story about that. It was a joint birthday party with her, because she also has a September birthday. And unbeknownst to us, we both got each other almost the same gift. I got her a necklace with an image of the moon the phase of the moon under which she was born, which was a crescent, and she got me a piece of jewelry that was a crescent moon. We were tripping hard, man. So from me and this lovely birthday card that contributed to my tripping out at my party, wish you all a very fond farewell. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming, and I'll keep doing my best to answer them. Take care, guys. Oh, and remember, I'm going to put links below for the audiobooks. Yeah? And again, as you probably noticed, it's been a while since I've uploaded, so if you want to subscribe, I believe you will then be notified every time I upload a video, and you might find that helpful, because I am lame. On that note, take care, everyone.